When it comes to influencers, there are no friendships, only alliances. And recently, the Fandom Menace Geeks and Gamers wing of YouTube has been trying to ally itself with Zack Snyder, and that was rebuffed by Mr. Snyder. Hello, everybody. This is Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics. That was a huge story this week. I normally cover Comicsgate, but sometimes Comicsgate and the Fandom Menace overlap, which was absolutely going on here. Now, the Comicsgate channels of, say, Ethan and Richard C. Meyer and all those really came to prominence right at the same time and hand in hand with the Fandom Menace in 2018, mainly making outrage videos about, oh my god, social justice ruined The Last Jedi. I can't believe how much they milked out of that, and then they all went kind of lockstep into, and Captain Marvel, also a very bad film. So they were able to milk that outrage train for a while, but then COVID happened, and there was no longer any big takes to go as, oh, there's The Mandalorian. They couldn't really dunk on that. And Comicsgate and the Fandom Menace kind of started to drift apart because there wasn't as much really in common to unite that audience. But it is still very much a thing in terms of, here, look, this is Ethan Van Sciver stealing Solo. Now, in the Comicsgate circle, stealing Solo is a pretty infamous comic because it's basically just a cash grab. You know, Jeff Hicks came in, hey, I made this story, Harrison Ford, we kidnap him and we make him, and I took some heat because at the time I reported it to Disney, and I'm reporting this one to Disney as well. Look, call me what you want. Just, I am consistent, all right? Before we go any further, I need you to know that this beautiful, graded 9.6 metal cover, Jamie Tyndall, one of only 25 issued copy of Guinevere, the Divinity Factory 3, currently up for auction on eBay. Starting bid was 99 cents, but it has gone up from there. And look at these beautiful things. I picked them up today. That is a lenticular cover of the Chains That Bind cover. Hottest cover we ever did here for Guinevere 2. I did a Make 100. They sold out, so I combined that image with another one to make this lenticular, and that is going to be part of the Kickstarter for Guinevere and the Divinity Factory 4. Link down in the description. Please go sign up. I'm going to be launching that one probably in about a week. I got high hopes for Guinevere 4. I think it's going to be my biggest campaign yet.
Stealing Solo, the Fandom Menace edition. Jeff Hicks is back with a brand new comic book cover, and for some reason, I'm on it with pie. This is me.
But, you know, you see, there's Jeremy right there, and there's Ethan offering pie to you because that's hilariously funny.
I'm holding a pie. It looks like I'm offering it to you instead of eating it myself, so that's already unrealistic. You know, Anna painted it. She said, does this look like you? I said, no. She said, why? I said, because I'm giving someone else a pie. It doesn't look like me at all. This is a book about the world-class bullshitters guys kidnapping Harrison Ford and making him do Star Wars the right way. I don't know. It looks like fun. Here's another drawing of me with my nose holding a pie, dressed like Julius Caesar. It's fine, guys. It's fine. Great job. Back this fantastic campaign, Stealing Solo, the Fandom Menace edition, and enjoy. Absolutely enjoy this magnificent comic book by the High Council. Sometimes I miss the High Council.
So as you can see from the video, Ethan Van Sciver and the Fandom Menace remain an alliance of convenience. Now, there has been some distance put there. Ethan indicated he's no longer on the Jedi High Council, but maybe it really came from the other side, because what happened is, all right, Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers and all those Fandom Menace people raised money for charity. Good. Okay, that's fabulous. But let's face it, if you just wanted to raise money from charity, you could do that, and you could give the money to the charity, and nobody else has to get involved. They were doing this as a PR move to get Zack Snyder to come in and say, hey, Zack, look what we did. They wanted Zack to put his arms around them the way they've been putting their arms around him. I've been canceled for my associations, and I'm not even a particularly important person. You better believe if you're somebody like Zack Snyder, and somebody's like, hey, we raised, 70 grand for charity. Now, 70 grand for charity is great, but at the same time, if you're a celebrity, you're getting all these requests, I'm sure, all the time. And to him, and look, when you see the video, yeah, he does come off as like, okay, I'm here with you people. Ethan will call him an elitist cuckold. I don't know why we got to go there, but okay. Zack is there. He's like, all right, I'm here. I'm doing my thing, but I don't like the whole Geeks and Gamers thing, and I asked you to take that off. Apparently, that was part of the discussion coming into the call, was he didn't want Geeks and Gamers on there, and I'm sure if his PR person was at all savvy, which they are, they would have said, yeah, you don't want to be associated with that whole Fandom Menace thing. I know that the publicist knew about it because I'm sure they probably talked about this stuff before. So this was a very conscious thing. And you can imagine the reeing that it sets into motion.
Just a quick thing before we get started. I know that
that's Zack Snyder, by the way, in the lower right. And if you look at all the faces, these do not look like happy people.
Donation page, we still have the Geeks and Gamers logo. I just want to say that I really, we talked about this, and we're really not affiliated with Geeks and Gamers as far as I'm concerned, and I really just want to make that clear. And I also want to just say, in light of recent events, I think we really, if Justice League teaches us anything, it's about coming together, and there's no room for hate. And I just think that it's important. It's an important message, and of course, as the father of Asian children, it really hits close to home for me. And I just really want to put that out there that we all, there's no room for hate.
That's what Zack Snyder did, and I'm sorry, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't understand the reeing, including by my man Eric July, and I've been a big fan of Eric July up there. But look, a year ago, maybe quarantine changes people. A year ago, Eric July was, putting out stuff on Twitter like, when you let a bunch of grifters just monetize the outrage, it's just ruining the whole fan experience and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I can see it. I could get behind that. But now he seems to be kind of falling in the orbit here. What happens is very interesting. So after that, there was a whole bunch of coping amongst all these people. And Ethan Van Sciver absolutely wants to come on, but Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers is not letting him on. That's the story we're going to hear Ethan tell. So he's being kind of kept out. So instead, Ethan goes live on his own channel and starts stream sniping and dropping hot takes. But not before dropping this $200 super chat and saying, how many more times are we going to give corrupt Hollywood leeway and try to meet them halfway? They will continually stab us in the heart. Zack Snyder looked disgusted to be with you. Without respect, we reject. Who cares about his awful movie? Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers being in a hate group, the biggest argument I would say in favor of that is the fact that he maintains his relationship with Ethan Van Sciver, who has demonstrated himself to be a very hateful man. We're talking about a guy that didn't like me criticizing him back when I had like 100 subs. And he puts out the calls to his fan base to dig up dirt, and whatever dirt they could find on me, they found a decade-old sex tape, and they just went crazy with that. This is a man who loves to humiliate people. He loves to engage in dirty tricks and cyberbullying. And I'm sorry, when you got a big platform like that doing this, saying that SJWs aren't people, so it's okay that we constantly harass and brigade and ridicule and dig up dirt and dox on them, people like Zack Snyder aren't going to want to be associated with that. And given that that has basically become Ethan's brand, it's rather telling that the Fandom Menace just has this casual association where they just show up every time they want to get their book funded.
Evidently, we haven't learned our lessons about this. We haven't learned anything about the way we will be treated as fans who are non-SJWs, who are not going along with the poisoning of the things that we love. We have not learned a lesson about this, and we still try to reach out to them. And I sympathize in a way, because when 2017, 2018, I did the same thing. I was like, oh, if only we could just settle down and communicate with each other, we could probably reach some sort of accord.
I don't remember that, Ethan, from 2017, 2018, being all reasonable, can't we all just get along? I remember the Ethan who got fired from DC, where he was telling fans to go hang himself, and then went out on YouTube and was dropping hot takes on his former employer. This Ethan who's like, can somebody tell me what he was doing that even justifies his story here of, I used to try and get along. Learn from my example.
What I learned very, very quickly is that I am a person and they are not people. Social justice warriors are not people. They're not human beings. They're politics chunked and formed.
Not people, not human beings, just politics chunked in human form. It's kind of okay if you just smash them or something. Jesus.
To look like people. And you are either one of them or you are in fear of them. And that is kind of the way life works. And right now, Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers is running what I would consider to be an infuriatingly embarrassing live stream talking about what just happened to him. So he decided he was going to do a charity for suicide prevention. And he was going to do it in the name of Zack Snyder and the Justice League movie, Geeks and Gamers. And he invited Zack Snyder to come on, I guess, address a few things. And Zack Snyder did come on. And the first thing he did, he looked like this. He's like, he had this look like he was disgusted to be in the room with these people. A diverse audience full of fans, women, black people, just a nice mix of people were on the screen with him, like the Brady Bunch. And he basically just showed up and said, first and foremost, I see the charity has the Geeks and Gamers logo on it still. I thought we talked about that. I'm not associated with Geeks and Gamers. And frankly, there's no time for hate. I said, Jeremy, give me the link because you guys are shell-shocked right now.
So you see, Ethan's saying, I told Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers, give me the link because these people, as Ethan will tell it, they're shell-shocked. I had to come in and console them and explain this is just how horrible SJWs are. Don't you see it's your fault you ever trusted them to begin with? I'm not at all leading a hate movement.
And you need to be reoriented. You need to be reminded that this is what they do. You cannot reach out to Hollywood. You cannot reach out to the SJW entertainment industry and think that you're going to join hands. I know you've gotten comfy. You think you have a big platform. It makes zero difference. What you allowed them to do was come in close to you in front of your entire audience and stab you right in the heart.
Stabbed you in the heart. So disgraceful. So then he goes on to start stream sniping and starts to cheerlead Eric July. Let's go ahead and see that.
I'm so angry for the fan community that we represent because we do stand between people like Zack Snyder, who is no different than Rian Johnson.
Oh, them's fighting words. Zack Snyder, no different than Rian Johnson. But notice Ethan and presumably these other YouTubers have adopted the very noble burden of protecting these fans from these horrible, horrible SJWs. Don't worry, it's okay, little fans. Ethan and his little community of YouTubers are here, and they will stand up to those evil SJWs who aren't even people. And we will, well, let's hear Ethan tell it.
And the people who have been disenfranchised and insulted by these elitist cuckolds who continually make garbage. They're continuing to make garbage stuff out of the things that we used to care about. And then once we get them, we try to talk to them. Once we give them a little leeway, instantly they insult us. He looked nervous and sickened.
Like I would have told him to go fuck himself.
That's right.
Because what you're doing right there is perpetuating this idea that people's lives, Jeremy,
Gary's starting to get it. Jeremy.
Now, Gary of Nerdrotic, and that is another association where Gary used to be like, oh yeah, cool, Ethan's, but that's back when Gary was around 30,000 subs. Since then, Gary has gone beyond Ethan and sees like, that's an association I don't want. So I believe Nerdrotic has had Ethan on, but he's like, you can't be doing the Comicsgate stuff. So just, for like a straightforward, hi, how you doing? To kind of maintain that there is this somewhat casual alliance there. But Ethan's now saying, see, Gary, now you see how horrible the SJWs are. Now you're going to come to the dark side.
Shell shocked. Jeremy's like, I'd like to congratulate everybody for their professionalism. Fuck that.
Maybe.
Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers congratulates everybody for their professionalism. He's like, fuck that. This is culture war. Don't you understand?
Warner Bros.
This is horrible. Said, Eric, look, man, straighten these guys out right now.
You need to disassociate yourself
this is war.
With this. And what he did.
This is the culture war, guys. This is what it is.
Trying to associate.
And you allow them to come in and make a statement and embarrass you.
And I know.
And you are doing a disservice to fandom.
It sounds good. It sounds good. I don't agree with it.
Right. And again, that may sound good, but it does not change the simple fact that was the first thing that he said. I would give you leeway to suggest that, well, those statements are completely separated from one another.
Giving these people, if we're going to do a charity,
it wasn't the first damn thing that he's saying on the stream. That's the first thing. You introduce the man, and he says, "I'm not associated with this."
That's
and I
right.
to make it clear
we're going to do a charity and give him credit for it.
Nobody's assuming that. Nobody.
Yes, Ethan, you're gonna make a charity and give him credit for. Why are you doing that? Well, I'll tell you why you were doing that, because he was this important person to this group, and they wanted his endorsement. That's why they did it. And he looked and he said, "Not that one." I don't know really what the problem is, honestly.
Would assume that you're going into this conversation endorsing hate. He had to distance himself from Geeks and Gamers. This is why I think we're giving him too much credit by acting as if
give him zero credit. He is no different than Ryan. Some of us have learned and some of us haven't. Some of us have figured this out a little bit. We figured out how to undermine and take power away from social justice warriors. One of the main things to not do is platform them on our platform.
It was, I'm on the phone with them, and then I'm on the phone with my people, and then I'm back on the phone with him. There is panic.
I would say then go away.
So here's Ethan talking about the person who organized it and is giving the backstory of, oh, I was on the phone with Zach and Zach's people, then on the phone with my people, presumably over the, okay, who are these people? Okay, we don't want Geeks and Gamers. And that conversation was what then bled into Zach coming on and saying, well, we had talked about it. But Ethan, you notice, is like, okay, that guy is not playing out of our rule book. He needs to go.
Just go away. And look at Eric July. Just get out of here. Because you're not trying to do the same thing that we are. You don't see things for the way they actually are.
So there you go. A very exciting week here in the Fandom Menace Comicsgate Collective. This has been an alliance that outlasted War Campaign, which was Ethan's old Dirty Tricks department. War Campaign thought, and that they had a war, believe it or not, a geek civil war about almost a year ago now, over Anna, that Star Wars girl, who was so nice as to paint Ethan there in the cover on Stealing Solo for him to shill. Now, one of the things that is interesting is the way that Ethan sets up himself as this figure who, one, is now here to take the slings and arrows for you. Don't you understand? Zack Snyder didn't like you because Zack Snyder said, Geeks and Gamers, no, Ethan, no. Zack was shitting on you, but I'm here to stand up to Zack. I know how to disempower the SJWs who aren't even people. Believe in me. Doesn't this feel a little bit like a cult? Well, here's Ro from War Campaign explaining kind of how cults work. All I'm saying is they do the techniques of setting up, this is part of a larger struggle. They don't just analyze the thing. They get you involved. No, don't you understand? Zack Snyder doesn't like you. He dissed you. He hates the things that you hate. He seeks to destroy that which you and I love. I will protect you. It's cult-like stuff. So here's War Campaign, that was some of the early divisions between Ethan's super fan group and Dirty Trick department, who did not like Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers. Eventually, Ethan tossed out War Campaign and kept Jeremy. So that's how long this alliance has been going on. But here's Ro talking about cults.
Steve was a believer. Nah, I'm serious, man. Steve was a believer. Every cult there was, this guy would join it. He'd be like, that's it, I'm in. You know what I mean? And he'd be...
It's a cult group.
Yeah, he was in every cult there was. And he'd always be like, bro, like, come on, join me, bro. And he'd tell me all kinds of cool stuff, and I'd be like, amazing, Steve, like, cool. And I went to so many cult interviews. It was off the chart, man. And I go there, and they do all this sleep deprivation stuff on you, right? And they just, like, fill you with all kinds of stuff. And then... I mean, for me, I would just, like, take it to the next level. I would just start going off and like, all kinds of, like, whatever was in my head. And I would just go on and on and on. And, like, I would play. I'd be like, I'm in a cult, too. And I'd just be, like, I'd be trying to get them in my cult. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You would out-cult them.
Yeah. I loved it, bro. I loved it, man. But that's what they do. They do sleep tap. Okay, that's a big one. So you'd go into, like, a landmark meeting, and they'd close the door. Okay, and then they'd be like, all right, you're gonna stay here, whoever's in here till the end, then you're this, you're gonna be that, and the rest. And then you'd given people an opportunity to leave, and everybody who'd stay now, like the doors would be closed and you'd be in, and then it would be the sleep debt thing. And then you got this, you got to remember physical. Okay, so physical is a big thing. It's get people doing the same movements. You feel really good when you're doing the same movements as a person next to you. You know what I mean? Chanting. Like, just think about any kind of salute. You know, think about
like hail. They used to do that all the time to Ethan. Hail. So, you know, to get everybody in the group, get them all identify common purpose.
Think about, I want to say throwing people in, but you know what I'm saying here. It's you need something to unite yourself. Okay, there's chambers. Matt, you want to have that. You want to have something that unites people, and they're doing it here. I can just,
and this is what Ethan is saying, that it's going to unite people. We are unified in our hatred of the SJWs for destroying our beloved childhood.
See it, Pan. This is it. Now they're fucking lined up all the way back up to the wall.
Yeah.
It's just funny. This is it. This is the new world we're living in. I can't even talk to you about cult life. I can't even say that these guys, these so-called anti-racists, are the racists. I can't even say that because I don't care. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to get out there. We're going to spread. I'm a community organizer. I'm basically like Obama, but better.
All right, everybody, if you like this, I normally cover this nerd drama onto my regular series last week in Comicsgate. This has been Preston Poulter with Pocket Jacks Comics. Thank you very much for your time. Take care.